What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video, and today it's the Vivo X200 Ultra full review. Yes, if you've watched my channel over the past couple of weeks, you will have seen the first impressions, a versus video, a comparison with the X100 Ultra, but ultimately, after nearly 2 weeks using this phone, how does it stack up to its predecessor, and will I keep it? Do I like it? How is everything? How is the experience? I'm going to explain everything in this video. Let's go. So you'll know already how the phone looks. There are 3 colour variants. All 3 have their different nuances. The red, in my opinion, is the most poppy, especially in sunlight. You've then got a more muted black. However, up close it does have a patterned effect, not textured, but there is a pattern on there. And then you've got the almost suitcase looking silver one. All 3 variants offer something different, and I really like the look. I've obviously talked about this ad nauseum, but I'm just going to mention it again. I love a large central camera bump, and the Vivo X200 Ultra comes with the largest bump I've ever seen. Remember though, this is not just for aesthetics, this is functionality. As you can see here, I finally got the photography kit, and it fits perfectly onto this camera bump with that 8.7 times zoom lens. I'll be out with a video soon explaining what this camera does with the lens attached, and I'll get that unboxing out as well. Now, in terms of other aspects, it's a large 6.82-inch display, it's a squared off edge flat panel display, and it's a flagship in 2025, so it's IP68/69 water and dust resistant, and it's almost indestructible. I do not wear cases ever, and this phone has picked up no scratches, nothing at all in the past 2 weeks. And remember, every phone you buy from the Average Dad Tech store comes with a pre-installed screen protector for your pleasure. Now, I am taking a slight twist in my videos. I am going to talk about cameras now, because this phone is all about the cameras. While all the other specifications and everything else I've used about this phone has been flagship and amazing, the cameras deserve a lot of screen time. It's a triple camera setup, 2 50 megapixel, 1/1.28 inch sensors. Yes, Vivo dropped the 1-inch sensor from the X100 Ultra, and in my opinion it was probably the right thing to do, because the aperture is faster, the light that it brings in is more, and at night time with video on wide or ultra wide, it is second to none. Because yes, the ultra wide, as mentioned, is the same sensor with the fastest aperture on any ultra wide out there. Still 50 megapixels and still super flagship. And the pièce de résistance is that third lens, the 200 megapixel telephoto lens, the largest telephoto sensor on the planet, shared with the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. However, this Vivo one has the fastest aperture. Now, I have overlaid many photos already, and I'm going to give you 2 or 3 minutes of just some unadulterated picture and video pornography. Enjoy, I'll see you after. there you have it, all the photos, the videos. I want to pay particular close attention to a few different shots here, but first I hope you appreciate the costume change and the fact we've transported to New Asgard. All the Marvel fans will know this location. I am a geek, yeah, this is exciting for me. Anyway, camera wise, also exciting. The Vivo X200 Ultra has, as mentioned, a flagship ultra-wide camera in line with its flagship main sensor. I just want to flash up here this image. This is an undistorted, perfect ultra-wide shot that you will not get on any other smartphone right now. Pay particular close attention to the edges of this. And as I've already mentioned before, and I just want to say in real life, having the versatility of that main 35mm lens, knowing you can change it to 23, you can then use the ultra wide 14mm and then go all the way up to the 70 or 200mm telephoto, you have what is essentially a 4, 5 or 6 lens camera system packed into 3 different lenses. And I know I've talked before about ultra phones, I would rather they had quad camera setups. But when you're as capable as Vivo with their processing, with the hardware they're putting in these phones, yes, on paper it looks like a step down from our 1-inch sensor, but trust me, in reality, as you have just seen, the main shots, the zoom shots, everything is phenomenal. And then I do also obviously need to talk about the cherry on top, that zoom lens. There is no situation, day or night, where the zoom lens doesn't come in handy. Here is a stunning shot taken from a walk on our Average Dad UK meetup this weekend of a seal. I'll be honest, I didn't expect to see a seal swimming around the river or sitting in the bank down in England, but I learn something new every day. And the close-up shot from ultra wide or wide all the way up to the whiskers on this seal, unbelievable. Pay particular close attention to its eyes. Here's a shot taken from the OPPO Find N5. Not a bad zoom shot at all, but compared to the Vivo X200 Ultra, no, there is no real comparison. And again, I mentioned nighttime shots and other scenarios. Moving subjects, a plane, the zoom you can get, and you can see here on this photo, zoomed right into a obviously fast moving plane, unreal. And the stability, I had done a versus video last week. OPPO X8 Ultra, fantastic zoom. Xiaomi 15 Ultra, fantastic zoom. Stability wise, at max zoom, the Vivo X200 Ultra is the king. And it shows because you can get shots like this plane. So, as you can tell, in real life, using the phone for a couple of weeks, the cameras are the main selling point, but they're also the main reason you will love this device. So now we've got most of the hardware out the way, obviously we have to talk about software. 2 main talking points. The Vivo is only available with a Chinese ROM, a Chinese read-only memory, which 3-4 years ago would have been a bit of a ball breaker. In 2025, no issues. Full Google Play support baked into this phone and any other Chinese ROM phone outside of Huawei. Simply go to the settings menu, users and accounts, enable Google with your email address, and then sign in as normal. Like you would on any global ROM device, you will have the full Google Play Store. And again, in 2025, key features baked into Android devices with global ROMs, such as Android Auto, are built in here. We used Android Auto for our trip to New Asgard. Yes, no, we weren't teleported by a tunnel from old Asgard. We came in a car, unfortunately. And then when you're using these apps, there's no crashes, there's no lag, it's the full Google Play Store. Everything will work. And yes, for you about to ask, banking apps work, no problem at all. All your apps work, no problem at all. This is not a Huawei device, this is not a virtual Google Play. I feel like I need to emphasize that because still to this day, we have other tech reviewers telling you something different. However, credit where credit's due, Chris from TechSpurt, after my video, did clarify and correct his mistake in his recent X200 Ultra review. If you remember, I'll link it down below. Really good review, well done Chris, and thank you for correcting the mistake about no Google support. Now, in terms of everything else you can get software wise, Origin OS is my favourite Chinese skin. However, I have to be completely honest, this home screen is fairly minimal. I set up my phones to have as little clutter as possible, and that definitely rings true with widgets. I am really not a widget guy. On this phone I have one widget, and that's the Google widget, because on this Chinese ROM device, if you want Google features such as Google Assistant, Google Lens or Google Search, you're going to have to download the widget because you can't build it into the hard key of the phone. The reason I bring up widgets is because Origin OS is actually quite famous for the hundreds of widgets it will give you, or mood cubes they're now calling them. But that's where you're going to run into Chinese text. Yes, another question I get all the time is there Chinese text everywhere? I could give you this phone and you could spend 10 minutes on it, and as long as you don't swipe left in the home screen, because there's no Google Discover page, it's only Vivo widgets, you ain't going to see Chinese text. Any apps that are baked into the phone, your bloatware, just uninstall them. Long press on the app and uninstall. Very simple. But the widgets themselves do have Chinese text, and unfortunately my Chinese reading ain't up to scratch, so I just don't use them. I've mentioned the assistant issues, and that's it. Everything else is your language, which is actually a good point to mention. If your language is not supported during setup, when you download Gboard through the Google Play Store, you will be able to select your language to help navigate through the UI, and obviously you've got the translation app there as well, but there may be some languages not supported. I just haven't come across many outside of Huawei phones which have very limited language selection. Vivo, OPPO, Xiaomi, again, not come across any languages that don't seem to be supported. So now you know about software and the cameras and the design and all that other stuff. A massive selling point of the Vivo X200 Ultra, and for me a massive reason why in my experience it's my favourite Android phone just now, the battery. It's a 6000 milliamp silicon carbon battery in here. It's almost untrue how efficient this thing has been with the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. I mentioned in a previous video that the Elite chip still needs some optimization. This phone was taken off charge 1 day and 3 hours ago. This phone was used yesterday a fair bit, SIM cards inside it, connecting to 5G, 4G towers, videos, photos, the seal pictures, other pictures you've seen in that montage, all taken yesterday. When I look at the phone now, 1 day, 3 hours later, 71% battery remaining. Now no, you're not going to get 4 or 5 days out of this device, but you will get 2 days. From medium to even fairly heavy usage, this is not going to die. I have the OPPO N5, and I mentioned this in a video and I was talking about with this group. The OPPO N5 has a great battery for a foldable phone, but it also has a massive screen. And if you use that a lot, you'll very much struggle to get 2 days out of it. And also what the OPPO does is, it goes into like a limp mode, goes into a power saving mode, which is a kind of cool feature unless you actually want to do anything with your phone, because it basically renders it useless. The Vivo, I have never seen this mode. I believe it exists. It's never got to that point. And when you do need to charge it, 100 watts charging with the charger in the box. 40 minutes later, your dead phone will be fully charged. But again, I've never actually got to that point. Incredible battery performance and efficiency from Vivo and Qualcomm with the Snapdragon chip. Yeah, and again, to reiterate, before you ask, I will not be doing one of those bastarding drain tests. So, hopefully you're appreciating these surroundings. I absolutely love being able to get out and around Scotland, down south, wherever I can go. I'll keep bringing the content for you. So please smash subscribe while you're there and give this video a like. Before I give you my overall summary of my experience, and obviously it's fairly positive, there are some realities. I've already mentioned about the widgets, the Chinese text that can't be removed. If you are a widget fiend, then you're going to have to get a global phone. And speaking of that, if you are a smartwatch user, I'm using a mechanical watch just now, but when I do want to use a smartwatch, you're limited to any Garmin, a Cospet, and really not much else. A Huawei watch, I guess. Not that I'd recommend that for other Google app reasons.
Keep it in.
But if you're a Wear OS fan, if you love your Pixel watch, if you like your Tag Heuer or Samsung watch, yes, there may be a workaround, and yes, I may have even posted a workaround that does work for a lot of people, but it's just an extra pain in the arse that you may not be bothered for. It's important that you do your research. Otherwise, you're going to be left with a fantastic camera that fits into your life 90% of the time. What you should have is a phone that fits into your life 100% of the time, because you're paying the price for it. I am telling you my experience. I am excited about this phone. I'm telling you how great it is because it fits into my phone 100% of the time. But again, when I talk about price, what you're getting, because it's a Chinese ROM, does that then make up for the sacrifice? Because compared to a global Xiaomi 15 Ultra, £300 cheaper. Compared to a global Honor Magic 7 Pro, which, don't kill me here Honor fans, but this is cheaper than an Honor Magic 7 Pro. And it's not even close. And then for the Samsung Knights, you've not been at me for a while, maybe this will help. Here's some ammo for you. This phone is twice the phone of a Samsung S25 Ultra. And not just camera, but in battery, but in design. And just sheer wow factor. And of course, £300 to £400 cheaper depending on the storage variant. So again, not my full summary there. That'll come at another fantastic scenic part. But just letting you know, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as Rocky would say. You have to do your research. So here we are. We've reached the end of the video and my full final thoughts. Obviously, unbelievable. Amazing hardware, fantastic software with some quirks. But using this phone as my daily driver with my main SIM card in, it's just been a dream. Nothing has gone wrong. Everything I want from my phone, and I've mentioned this in many videos, my tier list of things, my must-haves. A fantastic large screen, tick. The best camera system out there, tick. The largest battery, tick. The fastest chipset, kind of tick. I've mentioned this before. If you've got an older phone with a 3-year-old Snapdragon chip, that's still enough power for you. But all the other little things like the wow factor that you just can't put a spec on. There's no spec sheet to say, fuck me when I open this box, look how good it is. And every time I look at it, every time anyone looks at this device or sees that camera bump, it's just a wow. Now, while the camera bump may not be for everyone, it's certainly for me. So in summary, I couldn't recommend this phone enough. However, in 6 months' time, there will be another phone around the corner, which is why I always stress, buy what's right for you. Don't buy what's right because you've seen some balding YouTuber in a fantastic location tell you that this is the best phone. If you are influenced by my review, Average Dad Tech Store, all 3 variants, all 3 colours available now. Here's the loyalty 3 off discount code for you that have watched to this point in the video. If you've got any questions, you can leave them on our Instagram page. Here's the handle. Our support email if you're interested in buying through the store, or just hit me up in the comments down below. As always, I can't thank you enough for the support. Let's keep this sub train and light train and everything going on to ensure that I can bring you content from unbelievable places like this. And in case anyone's actually wondering where this is St Abbs, about an hour's drive from the heart of Edinburgh. If you're visiting Scotland, I would highly, highly recommend coming here, because this is my first time on the recommendation of James, knowing I'm a Marvel fan. I can't believe this is an hour away from my doorstep. But look around your area, get out there, get some fresh air, and until next time,